Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Rao, and here I'm working more on my 71 Mustang Widebody here. And just an update on the body and the chassis. I did get the chassis in. It's not really glued in as far as getting there, but the firewall is glued in. And this is, but getting all of this to flex and getting all of it out for these areas, kind of scary. And matter of fact, this taillight panel shot out on me. So I had to re-glue that in, take the chassis out, re-glue that in, get the chassis back in there. Once I got it in there, I glued this panel in and the rear bumper on. It may not have been a good idea, but we'll see. So chassis is in, and I'm going to start working on getting the engine and suspension, everything kind of fitted in there. But I got to get the engine in first. So this is not glued in. This radiator support is not glued in. I can move it down a little bit, move it out. But the main thing is it's in there as far as the firewall goes and the chassis. So I can start getting all of that. But I need to get the engine assembled and glued in there. So that's what I'm going to work on today. As you can see, I did have some fun painting some of the stuff. Painted all the brake rotors, calipers. I'll paint the rotor steel later. The K&N air filter is painted red. Optima battery, of course. So just doing some red painting. Valve covers I decided to do in red. But it's time to assemble the motor. So I did mostly the motor in aluminum. Did these parts all in black and all the pulleys in black. And then the oil pan I did in black. Because it's a steel oil pan. So I decided to do it in black. I could have just painted aluminum paint, but got that pretty much ready. Now, there's going to be some more detail painting to do, but the main thing now is to get it assembled. Now, I did find out when you get a motor like this, it's an aftermarket 3D printed from Iceman Collections. This is Ford Coyote motor of one of the, I think it's the Predator they call it, with a supercharged Shelby. Pretty cool. I haven't decided if I'm going to paint the top of this a different color or the body color. But right now, I just kind of, everything is in aluminum. But as I found out, you got to mock these things up many times. And originally, I was going to lay that flat because this really depicts where your heads go. And there's nothing to keep anything from moving around. Your heads flip around. Let's do this. This is this side. Got to get used to what is what. So, but it moves around. There's nothing really to locate it. You can kind of locate it from the holes, but if you line them up, they don't line up there. So, a lot of trickiness to this, but there's nothing really to positively locate any of this stuff, which makes it a pain. But these three items really need to go together. And I was trying a couple of different things. My first thought is if I line that down, get that hole lined up right there. If I get that lined up, maybe this will go in place, and it's pretty darn close as far as that goes. But I realized it's a little high. So if I go straight down with it where the pan rail is flat, then the head is not. It's like 1/8 of an inch higher. So there's a hole there, and I kind of found out if I take the crank pulley, put it in there, put it in the hole, it lines up, but you can see there's a lip there. So it doesn't lay flat on this, but when I put the head on there, all of that lines up. So if I get one side lined up, then I can get the other side lined up, and then the intake should line up. So that's the plan. And then this, I'm going to leave this a little bit because I think I can, glue it in place, but you can move it in or out and adjust for the belts as far as getting all the pulleys to line up. So I'm not going to glue that in place just yet as far as this goes, but I'm going to use it to help glue this in place. So kind of tricky, but let's get this set down. Let's get some glue on there. And I'm using super glue because this 3D printed resin, regular model glue is not going to hold it. And a toothpick to apply it. So I'm not going to use too much of it right now. So let's get a small amount right here. And right here. I don't want to get it too close to that stud because I don't want that glued. But I'm going to use that to line it up. Then get it. Okay. I think that's good. Let's see where, wrong head. Okay. And then it kind of V's out a little bit. Tried sanding all of this stuff flat, but hopefully when I glue it, oh, just let go. It's the silver paint. Oh boy. So this is going to be fun. Well, this is going to be a little irritating, so we'll just get the paint off of the glue surfaces. I may have to touch some of this up later, but we'll see. Do this where you can see it maybe. There's the head surface, valve cover surface, and then the front. Can be much like building a real motor. And I used aluminum paint from Scale Finishes. That's what I used on this. And since I know it's not sticking very well, all right, let's try this again. Get that lined up in here. All right. See how that goes. And line this one up just to see and see how it lines up on the supercharger stuff. Seems to line up pretty good. Let's take this pulley out now that that's all lined up. Now I'm just trying to get some more glue in there, in that crease right there. All right, let's make sure I got the exhaust on the right side, intake on the right side, get this lined up. It's the only bad part using super glue and this stuff, it sticks right away. Which is both good and bad. All right, let's see. Oh, the supercharger lines up pretty good. No, not gonna put the head on just yet with all that glue on there. Because I do want to get it back off. I do think I'm gonna sand this a little bit flatter. Let's get that mocked up, lined up. Let's see. Getting really good at taking that lid off with my teeth. You can't see that. Just put glue on the bottom portion of it too, but let's get all this lined up. Getting to feel how this is lining up. I'm gonna do a little bit more sanding. So yeah, I'm gonna sand some of these surfaces, get them a little more smooth now that this is final glued. Make sure I don't have any glue on my fingers before I pick this up. So let's see. All right. Well, it's fitting. So yeah, I'll let this dry. Not quite the update I was thinking. I thought I was going to get farther than this at the moment. But I do need to do a little bit more sanding on some of this, like right here. Get this a little flatter. Now that all these pieces are joined. All right, let's see how. Okay. Let's see, what else do I got to glue on here? Well, the oil filter I know goes right there. Let's get that glued in place. This one I know went right there. Then this goes over it. But I'll leave that because that glues onto this. Exhaust manifolds are steel, so I'm not gluing those on. Not going to glue any of that. Okay, so let's just get these pieces. Take the paint off the back. See, even I learn as I go. It mocked up really good, but now that the paint's on it, it doesn't glue very well with the paint on it, so. Okay. Those two. This alternator goes, I think, over here. Or is it this side? No, it was this side. Double check that before I glue that on, though. I want to glue the supercharger on at this point. Don't think so. Let's do it this way. Now that has a really long pulley. I think it was this one. Yeah, so we'll use that to help locate that in the hole. Get that in place and pull that out right away because I'm worried it's going to glue itself in. So, okay. Okay. Water pump's in place. And I know this is going to go right over it. We'll leave that off. There we go. That clears the oil pan, right? Yeah, okay. Okay. Pretty sure it did, but just wanted to make sure. All right. So if I glue this in place, I can still paint the rails and the injectors. So I want to paint those different color. Let's wait. I'll glue that on later, because I might have to adjust it, but I don't think I have to adjust the height. It was just this piece that hits the hood on occasion in mock-up, but we'll see here in a little bit. Anyway, I think I'll stop that right here because I need to airbrush this, let it dry as far as touching up this, and then start working on some more of this. But you get an idea where I'm going with on this. So you guys, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments. I really do appreciate it. You guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.